at 6:31 p.m. on Thursday, April 28th. First item on the agenda is look at or approve the minutes of the meeting of the Board of Directors from March 28th of 2002. Anybody have any comments?
I didn't notice.
I didn't see a problem.
Okay. Do I
I
have a
don't
vote?
got a problem, I move that we approve.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. Number 2 on the agenda, receive comments from the public. Richard, do you have the sign-in sheet?
I didn't sign it.
Do you want to speak?
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate it.
One still considered.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get me a chair so I can move this thing. Fall back.
Is it? You can probably adjust them.
I thought it. Well, that's really
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Wow, that's all that signed in? Seth McIntyre.
Hey.
I recognize the address.
Yes, so,
Okay.
I am here, so I missed last month's, but I'm here in follow-up to my meeting comments back in February about seeking some type of help or compensation on the damage to my house and having to replace my full sewer line because of the issues in you guys' line,
Okay.
at the main.
Have you
haven't heard
gotten the
anything-
receipt?
Yeah, I mean, I've got all that, I haven't heard anything from anybody.
Okay.
Last meeting I asked if you guys wanted my contact information, and you guys said you were fine right now. So I didn't know what that meant, so I wanted to come back and see who can I start exchanging information with, because I need to get rolling on this.
Okay.
There was a lot of out-of-pocket cost here, and I need help take care of it.
Okay.
Cash is tied up right now, so any help I can get from you all is greatly appreciated.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to see what next steps were on my end.
What I would suggest you do, and if anybody wants to correct me, step in. I would suggest you get your receipts together, get copies of them to Richard,
Okay.
so that we can make a determination whether we want to go through the insurance company and file a claim, or whether we want to cover it in-house, or what way we want to proceed with it.
Perfect.
Because we don't have any idea what dollar amount we're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Are
Understood.
we even liable?
well,
You guys had an 8-inch hole in your main that was just filling with silt and dirt that backed up my whole.
that's why we were thinking the insurance company to make a determination.
I've got pictures and videos of the whole thing, so.
And isn't that the one, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the one that we went out there and we did find that it was,
Somebody bored a 2-inch pipe through the 6-inch
it was our
line.
fault? Yeah, that was the one Richard talked about, that it was our fault.
Is that correct?
Well, somebody bored a 2-inch pipe right through our 6-inch main.
But we don't know
Now,
who did that.
when it happened, I don't know, because it'd been in there for years, and we'd never had any trouble with it. So, once we had an issue, then we dug it up.
And the expenses involved were the cost to kind of clean out and jet your line, or was your line replaced?
So we had to replace the line, and because it backed up to my whole house and destroyed.
And see, I don't
master
understand why
bedroom
your
and bathroom.
insurance didn't cover that,
They
because my
covered a
insurance.
small portion
Okay.
of the fix in the house, but they won't cover anything on replacing the line, so.
Well, the line from the main to your house is your
Yeah, that's
responsibility. That's not ours.
But it backed up on you guys's because of your clog right where my line ran into your line. It was literally inches into your line where the hole was found.
What was the condition of your pipe? I mean, it was clogged up, but.
Yeah, my pipes had some age to it, but we snaked it 175 foot, and they were out of snake by that time. So nothing unclogged then, and they cambered it as far as they could go as well, like 125 foot, and nothing was found either. The determination was, hey, it's probably further down the line, we just need to replace it. We called the MUD a day or two before to check you guys' lines. And the folks that came out said, no, everything's fine, we don't see any backup. But the gentleman did not check the spot that was right across the road where we found was actually the line that runs into my section, so.
So if it was just a clog on our side, correct me if I'm wrong, you wouldn't have had to replace your pipe.
No,
So why did you have to replace your pipe?
because we couldn't determine that. Like, we couldn't determine that. We went as far as, we went the entire, as far as we could, the plumbing company could go. I have no other,
I've kind of become an expert on sewage.
I would imagine you have. But, I mean, I am not an expert. So trying to determine,
So,
how, I mean, what would you have done in my case? Having called the MUD, having called the professionals to come out, and nothing could be figured out. We put a new clean out in hopes that it would drain a little bit, and then 2 days later it backed up in my
When
house.
you put in your new cleanup, could they have snaked it from
We
there?
went snaked it even further, yeah.
So, I mean, the whole length
Still
of it.
couldn't get all the way to the end of it, so.
so from what I know, from what happened to my house, the backup probably was our fault, I'll admit that. But I don't understand why you had to replace the line, your line.
The line was the line was not draining, so when we sent
Then
it.
that's your problem.
No, it wasn't draining because of your backup. So physics,
Yeah.
physics tells you wherever that furthest backup point is, it's going back all the way up the line.
That's correct, but you
So-
shouldn't, but you wouldn't have had to replace your pipe unless there was something wrong with your pipe.
But I wouldn't have known that. How
But
am
your
I
plumber
supposed
would
to?
have.
No, but
Because when they replaced I will tell you, I just
plumber
had
went-
that.
My plumber went as far as they could go. So, I mean, either way, you guys are liable for not maintaining your lines correctly. I am not liable for footing the entire bill here. It's not,
I
I
can't
disagree.
understand why you got, how long was from our pipe to your house?
I
How
mean,
far?
shoot, Richard, about 200 foot, wasn't it?
I don't
it's
understand
huge.
why you can't
It's huge.
hit in the middle. If you go 175 feet, you go in the middle of that, he should be able to snake.
Didn't have a clean
Both
out,
directions.
Richard didn't have a clean out in the bill.
Well, I didn't have any cleanouts in my house, none, okay? And they were able to dig around the pipe and see where my problem was. They didn't replace my whole line.
It boils down to, we need to figure out exactly what happened. We need somebody to look at it, figure out what happened and who is, what it is.
Well, now how you going with that? It's all been taken away.
Yeah, but somebody's gotta know something. I mean, there's gotta be a way to,
I think you have to look at the receipts and talk to Richard and
Yeah.
figure
Yeah.
out, you know,
and
who
we
you think
can
is
sit here and
responsible
talk back
for
and
what.
forth.
Right.
Right.
It's not a massive bill, I'm just looking for part of it. I mean, yeah, I've got age in my line. But-
How much are we talking?
It's about 4,000 something for the replacement of the line, because I hand dug it myself. We hand dug 200 feet of 2.5 to 6 to 8 foot of trench.
And what was the damage to the house and the backup
It
cost?
totaled about 9,000, my insurance covered 5. So,
So we're talking less than 10,000.
I'm saying, it's not a huge payout, I need some of it. I'm a small business owner, got 2 businesses here in Conroe, cash is tied up, newborn, just needs some help.
When you pulled out your pipe and put in a new pipe, could you see where the,
The pipe was destroyed when we pulled it out, as we had to dig it up. It was super thin stuff.
Was it the galvanized pipe?
It was the old PVC,
PVC.
super thin. I didn't know what it's called. Do you know what it's
That,
called?
that
Richard?
It's,
other
uh,
stuff we talked about, that concrete?
He had the old
Crap, so-
Schedule 20 pipe, real thin wall stuff.
Yeah.
Cracks, brittle, it
As
was.
soon as your shovel hit it, it went through it.
Y'all, we're gonna have a quick executive session. Do y'all
Can we
wanna,
talk about it
yeah,
there?
do y'all wanna talk about this in
Yeah.
executive
Okay,
session.
can we talk about it and we'll let you know?
You got it.
If you leave in the meantime, give Richard your contact information so that we can make a determination when.
Okay, is the executive section open?
No.
Open? Okay.
It's closed.
Then I'm gonna go ahead and go home.
And what are you
But if you
hoping
can
to
go ahead
get-
and send Richard
Yeah,
everything.
What
Perfect.
are you hoping to get out of it?
Just a portion of the line replacement.
You don't have any amounts in mind or anything?
And if you cover the whole thing, it'd be great. But
To be honest with you, I don't
but
think
I'm
we're liable for
willing-
your stuff.
But I'm willing to help take some of the bill, 'cause I know there's some age in the line. But, again, it started, the issue started, and I would never have been in this position if the main didn't have the hole in it that backed up into my house. And mind you, it happened a week before my child was born, so we had to scramble to get this done. So there's a little bit of a personal pissed offness about it. But yeah, I want to help. That's all I'm asking.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So, okay, we'll discuss it in executive.
Cool, thank you guys.
Okay, no problem.
I'll send it
Carl.
forward.
So, is there a position open in the board now?
There is.
And what's the procedure for filling that?
We are well, actually, we're going to discuss it later, but my recommendation is the current board members get a list of people together that they want to nominate, or people that want to, be on the board, approach one of us and tell us they want to be on the board, and then we have a meeting and discuss what we want to do. So,
Is the board's gonna vote on,
and the board will vote on it, yes.
so is this written down anywhere? Is this a procedure that's part of the?
Yeah,
Yeah.
under state law, the remaining board members appoint someone to serve, or to fill the vacancy and to serve the remainder of the term.
They can pick someone and appoint.
That's right, someone that's, qualified to serve on the board, right? So a resident or property owner of the district.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, be judged.
Me already?
There's only 4 names on the list.
Okay, I was gonna ask the board, but I'm thinking about it, I don't think you guys were even here when this question that I'm gonna ask popped up, so Richard was, so I guess I'll just ask Richard. Richard, this is kind of a historical thing here, but what was the reason for plant number 3?
because
Planning the what?
Plant
number three.
plant number 3.
Plant number 3. Okay.
Plant 3 was built because in the event of failure of plant 2, plant 1 could not carry the load of the district any longer. It was way too small to carry the load.
Well, then why did Blyle send that letter to TCEQ saying it was for the property across the freeway?
No, that was included in the plan for operation.
No, it wasn't, it was only really for that.
No,
It was
it
for
was,
the.
no, it was part of it. It was to supplement the district, because plant 1 was too small to carry the 100% of the load of the district in the event of failure of plant 2, which
Yeah,
had
but we
happened
have
a
an
number of
interconnect.
times.
We have an interconnect with East Plantation,
Yes.
so what's the problem?
Well, we're almost twice the size of them, and putting the load, our load on theirs strains their system.
Yeah, but it's only for a short time.
I'm just telling you what the engineers are telling me.
Okay, well then.
And the other thing is that part of the other equation of that was the future expansion across the way there. All that was considered. But even if you eliminated that, plant 1, as small as it was, would not carry the entire load of this district.
Well, I'll tell you, we got that 6-page report from Lyle, that so-called justification letter. And pretty much everything was talking about the apartments over there, the commercial or whatever. And really, if you're gonna do anything for a developer, the developer pays for it, not us, because that was close to $1 million for that plant.
But the plant, it saved the district a number of times when plant 2 is flooded, and we had issues with plant 1. And if it hadn't been for plant 3, we would have been in a world of trouble.
Well, I can't see that for all the years I've been here, and we've always used the interconnect and had that.
We haven't used the interconnect in, gosh, I can't remember how long.
Okay, I got another question too on that, on the plant, because it was for the property across the freeway. Why wasn't there a line going over there?
It was not for the property across the freeway. It would have been put in at the time of development, and the developer would have paid for that.
but not for the tank and all the tanks. Well, that's crazy.
Ultimately, if you would have put it in for the property owner and they would have fronted the cost, the district would have ultimately reimbursed across, so the district would have been out the money regardless.
But the developer pays for any upgrades.
They do, but they're getting reimbursed based off of their taxable value.
Well, yeah, but you're getting at least money back on taxes. We're getting nothing over there because nothing was built.
I understand. I was just saying that no matter what, the district would have been
Right.
on the hook for the money over an extended period of time.
Okay. Okay, I guess that's all I got.
That's it?
Yep.
Betty Brown.
My question is, with hurricane season coming up, what are our plans for the clean out of these concrete ditch? You know, I know we talked about it last year, and it doesn't seem like anything's been done, and now there's overgrowth. And the concrete is just completely crumbling everywhere.
We're gonna talk about it tonight. Anybody else? Put in something? Okay, number 3, election of secretary.
Okay, our secretary resigned, we need a secretary.
You step up.
I'm gone next month. I'm gone next month.
What about for a half a stick, you could get
For a month.
one.
Then whoever we
I
pick can do it. The reason is because we need all this paperwork signed for all the bond stuff.
I'm already the assistant secretary. So I can sign
So do
everything
you
up
wanna
until
wait
I
until
quit.
next month, till we do elections and
We-
we instill Carl and
We need a,
we have
We
to
need
have
a
a real
secretary.
secretary? Okay,
I will do it for a month.
okay.
thank you very much.
I vote for him.
You might regret it when you see how many outlets we have to sign.
I think I had to sign a bunch of it for
That's right.
the last one.
You're leaving as a high office official.
That's it.
Right.
Better pension.
So, yeah, step up and.
I never thought I'd ever be a secretary.
We could get a motion to.
Okay. Can we get a somebody make a motion to?
I make a motion that Mark become the
Secretary.
secretary.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You'll vote for it.
Aye.
Congratulations on the promotion. Actually, it might be a demotion because you were second vice president and then secretary. I don't
And
know,
assistant
whichever way it's
secretary. I
going.
was holding 2 positions.
Yeah, there you go.
Do I lose my assistant secretary job?
You can have 3 if you wanted, so. Okay, number 4 on the agenda, sale of 6.9, no, let me say that wrong. 6,950,000 unlimited tax bond series 2022.
Okay, this is the sale of your water, sewer, and drainage bonds, which will provide funding for the capital repairs in the district. We have obtained the approval of the TCEQ to sell the bonds, and Warren is here with bids for your consideration.
Okay. Yes, sir. Good evening to you all. I want to talk a little bit on this page, which is in section number 1, but just we'll flip back and forth a little bit. You can see here the results of the bids. The low bid that we received was from Samco for 4.23%.
What were the other ones at 3.1?
3, yeah, that's right, that's right. We had 5 bidders on the previous sale, and the only bidder in the previous sale who did not appear here is UMB Bank, and they actually participated as a co-manager or part of the syndicate with Samco. Hilltop is the new entrant here. And I don't know if you all recall me saying that before, that Samco is really the leader in this space. So far this year, there have been 115 bond sales for different municipal utility districts, and Samco's done 51 of those. So they're really the leader far and away, both by number of transactions and par amount. They account for approximately 40% of the market. On this page, I just wanted to share with you all Spring Hollow. Let me start with Galveston number 52, just for your information. Galveston 52 failed to get insurance. You might recall that was a really big deal. That made your bonds a lot more marketable, both with the park bonds and with this series. And so Galveston 52 without insurance was at 4.43%. Okay, so that's kind of the benefit. That's going to be a gauge of the benefit of the insurance. Also wanted to point out Spring Hollow. Actually, let me start really quickly. Just Montgomery 131 was postponed. We don't know why, but that kind of contributed to, there was a little bit more interest today because nobody would have been able to get those bonds. And with Spring Hollow, also non-rated, you see Fort Bend number 5 is rated, so they're kind of not a very good comparison. But with Spring Hollow, they were a shorter deal. They were 25 years, whereas yours is 30 years. And also, and this is not unexpected, but the premium that the insurance company was charging, Spring Hollow was closer to $25 per bond, whereas in your case it was closer to $32 per bond. So all of those factors, most importantly the shorter term, Spring Hollow was 4.17% today. Okay, so we look at the bids. Here you can see the IPRIO sheet. This is Samco's winning bid. And you'll recall these term bonds where they combine maturities, although you continue to pay principal every single year, so you will legally and economically defease the principal every single year, as shown in section 3. This is what your debt service will look like. Okay. And then the last two sections are just kind of market information. You can see the increase in rates. Another comment I'd like to make, comparing to the park bonds, the amount that interest rates have increased since we sold the park bonds is pretty much comparable to the difference in the two rates that you received. It's been about an increase of 120 basis points since January 27th, which is effectively the difference between the 3% and the 4.23%. So, depending on how you slice it, maybe you could make an argument that you kind of beat the market by a basis point or two, but it's really just pretty much in line with how the interest rates have moved. I know Davis has a lot of letters to review. I'm the numbers guy, but I don't know if there's anything else you want me to touch on, or certainly happy to answer any questions. I'm pleased that we got the 5 bids. You recall when we use a competitive method of sale, which we're required to use that particular method, what we really want to see is many bidders. And I know that you would have fewer bidders if you didn't have the insurance. And I can say with confidence with these 5 bidders that you received the lowest rate that you could receive today in today's market.
What did we get on the park bonds?
3%.
3%.
Yeah, 3.01.
Something. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Davis. Thank you, Caleb, Paul, everybody for going. So,
And just so you know, we timed this thing. We got the final approval from the TCQ just, a few days ago. So, this was as fast as we could move, from, the election to where we are today.
cool.
Good.
Okay.
So, we need to, award the sale, of the bonds to the low bidder.
Okay.
Yes.
We need to approve the bond order, which I've distributed, is in the meeting packet. It's a fairly similar document to the one that you saw previously for the park bonds. Biggest obligation there, obviously, is the district, will levy a debt service tax, will pay the debt service on bonds. The official statement, you saw the POS last month. The official statement is simply an update to the preliminary official statement to include the information on the sale, right? So, who bought the bonds, what the interest rates are, whether or not there's insurance, information like that. And then your paying agent, the same paying agent as the last sale, So remember, you send the money to the paying agent sends the money to the bondholders. And then we have a series of certificates and resolutions that are required for regulatory approval. So remember, this is really a three-step process, right? So we obtain the approval of the TCEQ, then we market and sell the bonds, which we're agreeing to sell the bonds today, and then we'll close the sale on May 26th. So on May 26th, the funds will be wired from Samco to the district to purchase the bonds, and then we'll have those funds in your capital projects account to pay for the approved water sewer drainage construction projects. So we could get a resolution,
Can
a
we
motion.
approve, one
Yeah,
motion?
we can do one. Unless
Wants to
anyone has
make
any
it, wants
questions.
to
I'll make a motion that we approve.
open this, approve one, approve.
You can say B, C, D,
Yeah.
and E and O.
Yeah. And you'll know what
Reflect
they
the
mean.
items accordingly in the minutes if that's helpful.
The sale of the bonds and approve it to Samco, correct?
Yep.
I make a motion that we approve the sale through Samco.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Go.
You're on the roll.
I'm on a roll.
Mhm.
Okay, we open the bids. We approve the bond order.
We haven't approved the bond order, the
Oh.
Or
official
the-
statement, the paying agent agreement, or the certificates, resolutions, and orders, documents necessary to complete the
So I
sale.
gave you that,
Man.
just read it.
Okay, so we open the bids and order awarding sale of the bonds.
So you're making a resolution to award the sale of the bonds?
Yes.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Approve the bond order for sale of bonds.
okay. Do I have a second?
We just did that, didn't we?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Approve the official statement.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Approve paying agent agreement.
second? Okay, yeah. All in favor?
Aye. Approve certificates, resolutions, orders, and all documents necessary to complete the approval, registration, and delivery of Series 2022 bonds, and authorize the president, secretary, and consultants to take all actions necessary to complete approval, registration, and delivery of Series 2022 bonds.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, very good?
I can read.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, seconded, amended, and restated agreement for the bookkeeping services. Okay. So, in looking at everything and looking at the bond issue and everything that was going on, unless somebody really has a wish to go with one of the other companies, I say for right now, we leave it with the company we're familiar with, that's familiar with us. We just got the money from the court registry. We have quite a sizable amount in the bank account now.
It makes sense with all the stuff we got going there, we just.
Yeah, just
reinstate
keep
the
it,
contract.
and I
Right.
think in the new one, it has a 30-day cancellation, so if we decide down the line we wanna go with one of the other ones, we can always revisit it, and 30-day cancel it notice, we can move to somebody else, so.
No, I agree. I think it's smart to keep it in-house where we've already got it.
Make a motion, we accept the offer from municipal account.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, bookkeeper's report. I noticed say, I don't know if anybody saw it. Did you get? Oh, okay. So the money came in from the registry. It's back in the account. I'll show you. Yeah. So,
We really hit the gas on that. Paul did a great job.
thanks, Paul.
We wanted that money in our account before we went out and sold the bonds, right? Because the financial condition of the district is certainly relevant to potential bidders. So. And your insurance company.
Good.
You see, you got a copy of it? Yep.
Anybody have a blue pen?
I got pins coming out of my ears.
Okay. Did anybody see, let's see. Anybody see anything on the bookkeeper's report, questions?
Really?
Walk, look at yours. What Tim's looking at. Really, walk, look at yours.
I looked through it.
Oh, you did?
Before I came
Okay.
out.
I looked through the other day, and I didn't see
Okay.
anything major.
Okay. No, it's pretty clean. Apparently a lot of people moving, a lot of refunds.
Yeah, it looks like it. I don't see any.
Okay. All right, do I have a motion to approve the bookkeeper's report?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Do I have a second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, the tax assessor collector's report. Any questions on the tax assessor collector's report, other than the fact that we're behind in collections from last year?
I wonder if everybody's.
As soon as I find it. I'm assuming it's because of all the protests. That's the only thing I can think about.
Protests don't affect it until next
Well,
You got till what, May 31st?
year, May 15th.
so, yeah, so, and we're not that far behind, but yeah, I gotta, so, but, I don't know.
I move we accept the report.
The tax assessor collector's report? Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Review of our investments.
Oh,
We're doing all right. All right, where did I just put it? I just had it. Right now, we have 1.5, 1.574, 1.5 something in the bank,
Right, 1.573, but that's
73.
that's
Okay.
all funds being reported.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I just had it in my hand, I don't know where I did with it, so, I know, but I can't find that page now.
It's at the front. On the first page.
Here it is. 1.573, thank you, Carol.
You're welcome.
Okay, 1.573 in the bank account. We're going to pay, I don't know, what did those bills total? Okay, Richard, I do need like your stapled together ones, because I can't find things once I get out of order.
Okay, the total disbursements
Thank you.
was $98,993.37. So the balance that you see on your account balances is actually
After
after
that?
all those disbursements have
Okay.
cleared.
Okay. Okay, all right. We have, yeah, so do we wanna, I'm gonna throw this out there, just, do we want to think about moving some of it back to that Texas class, since it's paying a little bit higher interest?
Can I make a recommendation?
Go ahead.
How tight up, do we want some of the money? I mean, interest rates are going up. I know I have recently reviewed the CDs, so there are some at 0.4 and 0.5%, which is higher than Texas class.
Yeah,
I mean, even though Texas class has gone up, there are CDs, a little bit higher interest rate at the moment, so my recommendation would be maybe put some in the, at least put a CD, and we can even, as we
so
watch.
some revolving CDs every 6
Once a
months or
month,
whatever.
you know, start laddering them,
Yep.
watch those interest rates as they go up.
Okay.
Should I
That
make
would,
one suggestion, just because of all the conversation we've had about facilities and repairs
Right.
and everything? Until you
We
have the
need the
capital
cash flow,
projects,
right,
right,
funds, you
Right.
know, next month,
Right.
maybe
just,
Don't
no, I know, don't do
put
anything
everything in
drastic.
CDs
Yeah.
for 30 days.
Yeah.
well, first of all, we don't invest more than $240,000 in one single CD. So again, this would be something very slow. Again, watching the interest, watching the facilities and such.
And hopefully we don't have something drastic, $1 million in a month.
Yeah.
So,
But
will probably.
we typically keep the majority of your operating funds in the Texas class account. So I keep a watch on that. So we typically try to keep that money into the Texas class to earn interest. So,
Okay. Payment of the district's bills, so I have to approve the payment of the district bills. Resolution.
I move pay the bills.
A second.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
All right, discuss the director vacancy. Kind of already did.
Yeah, that's exactly as Carl asked, state law provides that the board can appoint a qualified person to fill the vacancy and serve the remainder of Gerard's term, it's about 2 years.
2 years.
So, you know, whenever the board is ready to appoint someone, you know, I would encourage you to do so.
So, my thoughts are we have an executive session, we all get names together of either people who want to be considered or people we think we would like to consider. But if you're throwing their name out there and they haven't come to you, please ask them and make sure they wanna do it, or
Yeah.
will do it.
Would that be next meeting?
I'm
So we
thinking,
can-
before next meeting, because next meeting we would vote on it and approve it, but I'm thinking we have like a executive session next week or something and discuss it and think about it, and think about the names and then we vote on it at the next meeting. What do we think?
I would agree
Any
with that.
thoughts?
I think we need to have a special meeting to discuss it.
Yeah. Okay. Tom, you okay with that?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. You good with that one?
If I can make it.
Okay, okay.
And I'll just say procedurally, I mean, if you have a number of interested parties, it's common for boards to do it that way, just so you can have an open and frank conversation about, you know.
We don't have any names at this point that we want to do it tonight.
I have some people that have I have a couple of people that have approached me. I have a couple of people I'd like to throw their names out there,
Did you-
but, no, I've talked to them.
Oh, okay.
I've talked to everybody that I have. But I don't wanna be the only one bringing names to the table. I want you guys to bring names to the table too. Cause I don't wanna feel like I'm the only one. I mean, I don't wanna feel like I'm pushing, you know, I want it to be a group
Yeah.
effort. Yeah. All right, Tuesday, what's Tuesday, Wednesday, what's Tuesday look like? What's Tuesday look like for you? Like around noon?
Tuesdays,
Noon, 1 o'clock?
Yeah, fine if it's with yours.
I do evening better than noon.
I may have a conflict on Tuesday night if y'all need me, but I don't, you know, if y'all aren't gonna take any action, I don't know if you even,
I'm saying we discuss the names, then we, vote on it in open session
okay,
at the next meeting.
okay, well then,
They good?
yeah, I mean, that's fine.
You good with that?
Okay.
Okay. Let's see, so, I can do either, well, you wanna do evening? I think I can do any evening. I can do any evening, so just throw one out there.
Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, fine.
I don't care which one you wanna do. Evening's okay with you?
I'd rather not Tuesday night.
Okay, so you're gonna do Wednesday?
Would be better than.
Okay.
You good Wednesday? You good Wednesday night?
I'm doing it every night.
I may have something Wednesday night, but I think Paul or I can, we'll figure out, you
Okay.
don't need both of us,
You
we'll
talking
figure out
about the
how
fourth,
to
right?
Yep.
be there. Is that Wednesday okay for you, Paul?
Yeah, that's right, we're good.
Okay, all right.
Okay. All right, so you're gonna do 6,
6:45.
6:45?
Yeah, give it a good number.
I wanted it earlier, not later. Can we do 6 so we can be done by 7, hopefully?
I'll be
How about
late.
6:30? Okay,
I'll be
6:30. How about 6:30?
All right.
6:30. You good at 6:30 Wednesday?
Next Wednesday?
Yeah. Is it
Sure.
Wednesday?
Yeah, they haven't done that in
Oh,
a new years screwed it up.
okay. Okay, so next Wednesday, 6:30. I hope not. Okay. All right, number 8, engineers report.
All right, stormwater quality management plan, that was submitted, in March, after we met, and, seems to be going well with that, haven't got any comments back, so good there. Still going through the paperwork. The EPA knows how to do a lot of paperwork. So trying to figure out all of that. The sanitary sewer clean and televised, we were able to check all the references, for the well bidder, that was Pro Pipe, in the amount of $55,350, and we're recommending award of that contract, as well as I have contracts for signature pending and we won't execute them pending the approval of the bond and insurance by Davis and his team. So we'll need a motion on that. And then the storm sewer clean and televised, I ended up pushing it to a public bid, trying to get it below the 75,000. Seems like it's gonna come in a little higher from what we got, so we had to put that out.
Okay.
That is all we really have right now. I will.
Do we need to award these bids?
Those, I
For the
don't know,
grant?
let Richard talk about a
Oh,
little
okay.
more. The low bidder was one of the persons that we work with in our company all the time, who's phenomenal, highly respected in our industry, and so no problem going with that low bid. On the other side of that, with the bonds being sold, I'll bring back up the CIP plan at the next month's meeting to start getting the discussion rolling forward to these projects. Obviously, main focus is storm and sanitary right now with the pending hurricane season. How fast can we turn around on some of that stuff, so.
Coming up with a plan probably to do the priority
That's
center
correct.
point repairs, and then come back and probably do a larger scale rehabilitation program. But remember that the sanitary sewer clean and televised, has to be done before you can,
Do anything?
Correct.
before you can go out and bid the repair job, because you know
Right.
what the inside of the pipes look like.
Yeah, so we, just kind of reminding, we went back, we did a small section before money came in, because we were not sure officially when everything would be sold. And so now we'll be proposing to do the whole sanitary shortly after that, get everything under control, and we can start hopefully doing repairs on the other small section as that's getting done. So
Okay,
pushing fast on that work.
okay.
So I have a question about A,
Mhm.
East Ditch FEMA work.
Mhm.
What's the latest on that? I know it says that you're gonna be the direct contact. with FEMA.
Yeah, so FEMA has a lot of paperwork that needs to be put together to transfer that ownership of responsibility, of communication and everything that you guys will have to sign. I hope to have it ready for May. I was hoping to be ready at this meeting. It's just a lot of paperwork I'm going through to make sure that everything's in line and we know what we're working with. And they've been really helpful, but it's a lot to go through.
Okay.
So, we'll push that as fast as possible as well, just because, as was mentioned, cleaning out that. is important.
We're saying we can't touch it
So-
for another month or so?
Touch the
Probably
ditch, I mean, you're already
We
approved to
can-
do the cleaning that was originally planned for.
We just can't touch the concrete.
I think Richard, I don't mean to throw you out there, but you were struggling to get an excavator, the proper
Right.
excavator to be able to do the
Skid steer.
skid steer.
Skid
that's
steer.
right.
Okay, I have 2 companies that have the ones you want ready to go.
I've got ours,
They're- Huh?
the one that we normally use, they've called me and said they got 2 of them too,
Okay,
that came in.
okay.
So we don't need a contractor to can do it,
We would-
y'all can get one and do it.
Well, at this point, we might want to use a contractor because I'm limited with staff now. I only got one laborer. So that's one of the issues I was gonna bring up under my report.
Okay.
So what happened to the other guy? I thought we had two.
He resigned.
So we can certainly
Okay.
get, a bid together to get that work
Okay.
underway and hopefully have something for you. I'll meet with a couple contractors on site and see what they're thinking of cost. To have stuff ready for you guys to go next meeting.
Okay. All right, thanks. Okay. General operating contract with municipal
Yes.
ops.
Yeah, if we
Oh,
could get a vote to
yeah.
approve the engineer's report
okay,
and
to-
authorize the award
Got
of
it.
cleaning and television.
Got it, okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the engineer's report and clean and televise both the sanitary sewer and the storm sewer.
Have a second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. General operating contract with municipal ops and consulting.
Okay,
Can we do non-intended?
yeah, we can, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was gonna
Joint
say.
sewer plant contract with municipal ops and consulting.
It's really structured this way for billing purposes. They're two separate contracts. We obviously want to make sure that all of the billing for the joint wastewater treatment plant is completely separated from all of the billing for the rest of the work, so that, you know, there's no kind of overlap between those invoices, so we can properly, you know, prorate that expense with East Plantations based on ownership pursuant to the contract. So at the last meeting, you all asked me to work with MOC and bring back contracts for your consideration. I think they're in good shape and ready for your approval today. I will tell you, one, I didn't, just hearing that someone resigned today, but my suggestion is if you are interested in, you know, in using MOC, that you should go ahead and get a contract in place so that there is a contract in the event that you need them to start tomorrow. And I'll let Keith speak, but I think that what we had talked about was kind of a, you know, maybe a June 1 plan, transition date, but sometime around then, I think they're probably ready to do it earlier, if y'all are ready. And they won't bill you for, they've agreed not to bill you for any work that's not done between now and the transition date. But they will be available and under contract in the event, you know, you need somebody to operate your plant, right? Or make a major repair or do something along those lines, so. If that makes sense.
Okay?
You'll have all the contractual protections, the insurance, the indemnity, the, you know, all the good stuff that you need there to have them out there working.
Got anything to add before we go on?
No, not necessarily. You know, obviously, certainly appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity, first time to be before you, you know, following the decision. So again, certainly appreciate it. As David mentioned, we've spent a fair amount of time kicking around contracts to try to get them to final form. We've spent some time with both Richard and Milton. As we've discussed in the past, we've got every intention of trying to do right by them and hopefully retain their knowledge and experience. And so, you know, to Davis's point, you know, and as I've alluded in the past, you know, not in any way, shape, or form do I want to diminish the value or the need to kind of leech onto folks that have been here and have the history, but you know, as I've mentioned also, you know, we've been in business for 20 years. We've got 100 some odd contracts from clients. We didn't buy a company. Every single one of those has been grown organically. And so we're very much familiar with this transition period. It's never easy. It's never seamless, but I'll tell you that we've done it a handful of times, and we're certainly capable and able to kind of try to help make that transition occur as quickly and as easily as possible. So that just understand that there's kind of two components to that transition. There's the field work and the operations, and then there's kind of the customer side, the meter reading and billing and payments and everything else. And so there's kind of lots of conversations that certainly will need to be had as the ball progresses. But yeah, certainly we appreciate the opportunity. We look forward to working with you all. I've got the contracts here. If you guys would elect to execute them tonight, that's great. And then we can begin to kind of nail down the schedule as to when this transition begins.
Okay.
Anybody have any objections?
Do we have any kind of timelines of what we're trying to accomplish?
June 1st is the official date. June 1st, but if something happens that we need them to step in, correct me, you guys would step in, but it would be billed differently. It would be
I mean,
monthly.
Yeah, so, you know, if there's a, you know, sewer stoppage or a mainline break or something like that, and in the event that we were needed prior to June 1, I mean, we're gonna try to accommodate whatever we need to. You know, the contract lays out, you know, pre-agreed to labor rates, and kind of the only thing that I think wouldn't apply, at least for the interim period, would be the base fees that are tied to plant operations and customer billing. So,
So when would we start notifying our customers?
absolutely, yeah. So that's you know, that's a very key component to this conversation.
I'm already getting comments from customers asking me what's going on.
Yep, and so, you know, there's, you know, once we have a hard date of transition, right, and that we're gonna begin to take customers' payments, to render bills, read meters, check the facilities, everything else, we'll want to coordinate with Richard and his group. We're gonna wanna nail down, you know, when do you typically read your meters, when do you render bills, when are they typically due? You know, really where wires can get really crossed really quick is if they send out their final bill and they continue to post payments to their system. Once they, you know, whatever that date is, once they send their final bill, no more payments need to be posted here. They need to be posted by us so that we don't get wires crossed and that you've got a customer calling them saying we've made a payment and it doesn't show in our system, and it gets really messy really quick. You know, as Lonnie and I mentioned when we met with you guys, kind of the cost of the transition, that's something that we bear. We kind of consider that just to be a cost of doing business. We'll want to include a letter to your customers that provides some detailed information as to various payment methods, remit to address, so on and so forth. In addition to that, you know, whatever day is kind of the go day when that transition occurs, we'll go out and we'll door tag every home with that same form letter, some additional information, and then just a magnet that has our name, contact information, so that hopefully if, you know, customers experience any sort of issue or need service work, they can quickly get a hold of us. You know, so we're ready when you say go.
So I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Since we read meters on the 23rd or the 24th, I have a little cheat sheet over there.
Mm-hmm.
23rd or the 24th, do we want the transition date to be like that day after? Or do we want the transition day, because if we do June 1st, that's like a week lag time in there.
Yeah.
The hard part is gonna be that in the next 30 days, Richard is gonna have a lot of stuff to wind down and accounts and all the kind of day-to-day operational stuff that's gonna be really important. And you only have, it's just gonna be Milton, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have one guy out there. So you really need MOC to be available.
That's what I'm saying. Do
do
we
some
want
work.
it to be
Will you guys be able to
sooner?
support them during this time? Or will that compensate?
What about doing the 15th? Because that way all the
The
bills
bill.
would be due. And then
And they
after
could read the
that,
meter. Well,
after that,
but is that, does that give you enough time?
Again, I mean, really, what it comes down to is if we're going to transition in June, whenever they typically read their meters in May, read them in May, generate the bills, send the bills out, and at that point,
They
no
stop.
longer take payments. But we've got to make sure that we're teed up to make sure that notifications are beginning to occur so that we don't send out the bills and nobody knows where to direct
Right.
payment. So if May, June is, you know, if you read your meters late May, and that's intended to be kind of our kind of commence date, then we need to get busy to get some notifications put together, coordinate with Richard to make sure that we can get that thrown into the customer's bill, And then from there, we can begin to kind of, there's gonna be a handful of
Right.
forms that we're gonna need executed to get you guys, imported into our billing system. We're gonna need to work with your current billing provider to get systems moved over. So we can make all that work. I just need to know, if May's
I
kind
just
of
think
go.
it might be easier for you if we did it like the day after they read the meters. That way we don't have any, no?
Nope.
Okay.
What do you think, Richard? What do you think? the
My
best
recommendation is gonna be, is when you want this to go into effect, we're gonna have to read the meters, like you're saying, all the way up till that time. They'll have to be put into our current software system, RVS. The best thing to do is go ahead and put that in, we make up all the bills, we send them out. Once we close the month, I send that to the bookkeeper, and RVS can be shut down from that point on and transition. All the bills will go to them, so when they already have the database, they'll be able to look at those and match what's coming in to the final of this one. I'm sure this will drive the bookkeeper crazy if we do it in the middle
So
of the
that's
month
what I'm
too.
saying, well,
I mean, I would just keep in mind that the meter read date really is, what's more relevant is the bill date.
Right.
Than the meter read date.
Is there a better date for either one of you than June 1?
No, I think we
Yeah.
can,
We can push for either, yeah, it's,
Is that a good day? Okay.
we just need to get moving, the main thing is to get y'all's billing system imported into ours and so that we're ready to roll. So, we're happy to do it.
okay. So then do we want, I need a resolution approving, did anybody look at the contracts? For your packet?
Packets.
Yeah.
I can assure you it's the same as what we
I was gonna say,
As far as numbers.
I did look through it, but how many pages?
Like 20 pages for each contract.
so,
I didn't memorize all of it.
well, I saw it was similar to the one you did last time, so,
Yeah, it's
our-
a standard contract and.
yeah. So, do we, oh,
Can I ask a question? And you probably already answered this. Are y'all gonna still take payments at the box back here?
no, it's gonna go to them, right?
So we intend to still utilize
Are you gonna use
the
the box?
Dropbox.
Okay.
I mean, but to be clear.
What about the PO box?
no,
Probably not.
No,
we'll need that.
Yeah, I mean, so
I missed that, you said they can't use the box check, the drop box, right?
Yes.
we intend to utilize the Dropbox, but outside of that, we're gonna ask that the customers would direct payment to our mailing address. And just by way of, we've tried to provide any and every opportunity for payment, whether that's recurring ACH, you can come to our office and pay with cash, you can do the Dropbox, you can do check-free pay, so we know paying bills isn't fun, but we try to.
Online payments?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Online payments.
Do you charge extra for that?
There are processing fees, and what I'll tell you is that the processing fee is, well, we don't see a nickel of it. It's all the product of the processing group, whoever provides the service and the technology in order to go out and get your money and drop it in the right account. They're the ones that collect that money. I think it's 3%. A reoccurring ACH is $1.
I think it's great that they're gonna honor the Dropbox app.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of people that use the Dropbox.
Question, what happens to, like, I like to prepay, so I
I do
like to give $300, $500, whatever.
It should transfer over to their,
Right.
when we have a credit, it should transfer over to theirs.
And can we still do that once we?
Sure. We love folks, we'll always take your money.
If you want, you can pay me.
No, that's not a problem. Any sort of credit that sits on your account today will be transitioned into our billing system. It will be reflected on your next month's bill that will be generated from our system. And if you want to make some large upfront payment, that's perfectly fine.
All right, so do I have a resolution approving their contract, or accepting their contracts?
I make the motion that we accept the contract for municipal operations,
With the June 1st.
June
okay?
1st start date.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Keith.
Yes, sir.
When we start date, let them figure out the best time to start. With that.
Well, I think that's what
I'm
he
talking
just
between him and
did.
Richard, to figure out what's the best actual date.
Well, they
Just
have,
did it.
There's gonna be some gray area. in
That's
the-
what I'm saying,
in the-
just don't make it firm, it has to be June first, let them figure out what's best.
well, but that's when the
I think
base
that's
fee
really
has to
for the
start,
base fee
Right.
implementation. I think they're gonna start,
whenever they're needed.
they're gonna
but-
start probably
Yeah,
tomorrow on the transition.
Oh, yeah,
So.
absolutely.
yeah.
I'm gonna fire off some texts now after.
Faster now. You approved your contract, if he needs help, you're gonna be able to support him the next 30 days, right?
That's correct, yeah,
Okay.
we wanna be a team player, so if
Yeah.
we need to do something along the way, let us know.
Okay, review the administrative reports, manager's report.
Okay, manager's report is pretty good. There's nothing drastic on it this time, so that's good. We did have the water line damage at Old Hickory, as you pointed out there. And I know that's part of one of the topics that we're gonna discuss as the customer damage to the water line. The cost for that repair was $2,250.
Okay.
So whatever the board wants to do with that.
That's the one where the guy pulled out the tree stump and broke the water line. Any suggestions? I say we bill him, but I'm gonna leave.
A tree stump.
Yeah, he pulled out the tree stump.
Huge tree that's over there.
Well, I don't know which one you're talking about, but
Yeah.
That's a spell.
No, it's another one. This is the one that's at the end of Old Hickory.
Oh, the end of Old Hickory?
Yes,
Oh.
the dead end at the end of Old Hickory. The customer was, the tree was leaning, so he decided to cut it down and pull the stump out of the ground and pull the water line out with it.
Really?
The house on the left or the right as you're going down the street?
It's the one straight ahead on the left
Where the,
side, left
RV
side.
used to be.
Right.
Okay.
Where the RV is, right?
Now,
It's not
anymore.
now he
He
might
actually
want,
cleaned up his yard pretty
It's a
good.
nasty one.
he might want to dispute it because of the fact that the tree was in the utility easement.
but did he get permission to remove the tree stump?
Nope.
Really? If it was a gas line.
I mean,
you'd pay it for the gas.
I was gonna say, and he could have asked for permission if he knew it was in the easement.
Yeah.
We could have removed it if it was a
Right.
problem,
Yeah.
and we would have known where the line was.
Just to be clear too,
Okay.
you're not obligated to take care of every tree or
Right.
every easement that has a water line in it, right? So if you own the property, you're responsible for taking care of dead trees that are hazardous. But if you're an easement holder, you know, for a water line, you don't all of a sudden take responsibility for any vegetation or improvements that are on the easement.
You said,
It's entirely up to you.
Well, if you start paying for everything, it's gonna set a precedence.
Right.
that's what's happening on the other deal with the kid.
Yeah, do I have a motion on which way you wanna proceed?
I make a motion that we go.
Okay, do I have
A
a second?
second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Richard?
Okay, I'll make up an invoice and send it to him.
Okay.
The rest of the report is pretty clear, except you see I didn't put in the numbers in there, but that's okay. Everything is well within normal range. We did have a grease blockage at Gettysburg on one of the sewer lines. Well, we jetted it and it was fine. It's just clumps of grease in it that blocked it. And we had a power outage at Mosswood Lift Station. That unfortunately was Entergy's fault. Their transformer blew up, so we had to wait for them to replace the transformer. After that, the lift station was fine.
Did you get that battery replaced? Were you able to find a replacement battery for the generator?
Oh, there was nothing wrong with the batteries. It's just they needed to be charged. The charger is what went out.
The charger went out?
Right.
Okay.
Once I charged the batteries up and repaired the charger, it's up and
So
running.
we got a
Oh, yeah.
replacement charger?
Yeah. The cost for the on the sheet on the collection system, we got a sewer line that's collapsed at Brandon Road. That's the one that you have the 3 bids for in front of you. Since we're over $25,000 to repair it, I have to go out and get 3 bids for it. As Taylor was talking about, Right Solutions is the lowest bidder. I'm not familiar with that company, but if Taylor says they're a good company, then I'll go with his recommendation.
signs that you guys work with?
They've done a bunch, I mean, they're kind of our go-to for small things like this, anything under 75,000 that I can give to them. More than happy to.
So there was bid too.
Yeah, I will say. Still a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I have on my administrative report is signage. At the last meeting, we discussed the changes in the signage, the language for the park signs. Do you have a final for me to submit to Fan Signs to get the signage done?
Well, I got with you.
Yeah, didn't we,
I thought we talked about that last month.
I thought it was sent over, but I'm happy to email it to you.
I've got the estimate to redo the signs and everything, if we want to complete.
But the actual wording and everything on the
It's done.
signage.
Yeah,
The
we
wor-
traded emails.
Yeah.
Right, the wording will have to be changed, but then we wanted, you wanted to replace those other 10 that are missing?
Right,
Okay, so that's gonna be $39, $38, $3,900 to redo the signs, the existing signs, and replace the other ones that are missing.
I told you, make them out of granite, they won't see them. Make
So,
them happy now.
if the board wants to approve that, I'll go ahead and take care of that one. And other than that, that's all I have.
Okay.
So,
So 10 signs are $3,900?
no, and that's also the replacement of the other ones,
Oh, okay. So how many is that total?
20.
Oh,
So you're gonna replace the small signs and add the big signs?
We're gonna replace the existing signs with the new verbiage and add 10 additional signs with the poles and everything.
Oh, I see, okay.
Do we need to approve this right thing?
well, yeah, in a minute, but,
So-
okay.
So we wanna do that?
So do we, yeah, you want to approve the signs?
Okay.
Move to approve the sign.
Okay.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
And Right Solutions
Yeah.
is the one for the sewer plant?
yep, do I have a motion to accept the bid for Right
I see.
Solution? Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, Taylor. That's good. Okay.
All right, thank you.
I see we've gotten it down to, systems totals report.
Yeah.
One person, one account over 50,000.
Nope,
We're making
that's it.
progress.
Not three, we're just three.
Yeah, I know. See that? Just, we're getting there.
It's not
Yeah.
one in my yard.
You stopped working in your yard? I did too. Can you tell that I did things in my yard? Okay, any questions on the systems totals report?
No.
Nope.
Looks better than it was the last month.
Okay. TCEQ compliance matters. Have we gotten any more letters?
Nope.
Okay. Maintenance and repairs, you've already gone over all those?
Mhm.
Okay. Damage to water line, review the bids, we already did that. Last thing is executive session.
We're gonna have an executive session, to talk about the litigation.
Okay.
Paul, I think it's probably gonna be easiest if I just call you from my phone and put you on speakerphone from back in the office, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
totally fine.
okay.
Okay.
I'll give Lee this.
Yeah, you can just shut it off.
Before you go.
Sure. So the first meeting after, the election day, there's not a formal orientation process. I have some documents.
Pleasure.
Absolutely. I mean, I would think that Richard would be happy to show you around, the facilities, if you'd be interested in seeing them. We have an oath of office for you to sign. But it's a pretty straightforward.
My yard. Until the first meeting, or does it start on May 7th?
Yeah, my
first
phone's
meeting
been out of.
After May 7th.
At the pocket park.
No problem.
That will be
if
where
you,
you'll
I don't know if you can see,
execute all the
what I'm
documents
saying,
and
we
start your
put,
forward
on the
for-
road,
so,
we put some
thanks.
X's where we sign the trees.
But I will say, I mean, I always tell
We're not
new
getting into utilities.
board members, there's definitely a learning curve.
How deep you gonna dig?
And I think you have a good
Small
group
maple
of
there.
consultants, and we all make ourselves available
I don't know
to
how
answer
that-
any questions.
If you go
you
one
have.
inch
We're-
inches, you're
There's
required by
been
law to
enough
haul
kind of
paper one
transition
day, come up
stuff
with
going on that we're,
That's,
we're
that's
all
the only
learning a
thing
little
about
bit,
the way these come off.
Yeah.
about some stuff too.
Even though you're in
as far as,
easement, he's got.
districts
It doesn't
generally
matter.
know
So do you go
and
put
everything
anything
that's
on
been
there?
going on. I mean, we.
Yeah, they'll notify me officially, and then I gotta go flag the water lines.
Okay, gotcha.
And then they'll flag electrical,
They're
whatever
putting in
else.
irrigation right now, they were asking us where the trees were gonna go, so they were
Oh,
working
yeah.
irrigation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
In Houston.
your pen?
Yes. Well, I represent, my districts all over the greater Houston area, so when,
Yes, I'll leave,
from Katy to Baytown to far north of here to, all we
Hey,
do
you wanna
is
notify,
money.
Checks are all signed.
thing, right?
So,
Yeah, I'll follow.
No.
represent-
Yeah, yeah.
I will, or unless you
Really
want to.
actually-
No, I'll get a number together through the email. I'm gonna call first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I send them a text.
Right, FA
Yeah.
for entities other than, financial advisor, sorry.
Never get what
No,
you're saying.
out of the way. But, which is common in the other school districts. so
That's why I need to know that date for that, because I know you're gonna, you're
But,
gonna have to notify a bunch of people.
municipal corporation operates based on mud districts. We represent,
I'm gonna shut down.
I represent some drainage districts and, improvement districts and a variety
Put out
of
that
special
final-
purpose entities.
There you go, ma'am.
Bill.
Special purpose districts that have vast authority.
Yes, ma'am. What's
And
left
I
of
got
it?
my new ones, they don't put it back in the PO box, or hang it around.
Page 2, look at the second page. You have a tab to sign it with.
I'll bring them tomorrow. Yeah, because I gotta
There
attach
should not be a
them
tab.
anyway, make copies of the usual stuff.
Just wanted to make sure.
No, I appreciate
We
it.
gotta go over
I like
the
attention to
executive session,
detail.
come out and sign it.
Yeah, I saw that email, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I prepared to text.
So we'll,
All
We
right.
got everything? Or do I need to sign this?
Yes.
Well, I've already signed my half.
So are mine ready?
for
No,
the-
yours are red, so mine are blue.
Oh, yeah.
will,
Dang, there's a lot of blues.
Maybe? Yeah, yeah.
in the regular meeting time, as far as I know, on,
You're welcome. Good to see you.
in May, and we'll get a new